Welcome, everyone. Just give me 1 second. I am trying to get the Instagram to go live as well. All right, looks like we're good. Welcome, everyone, to Notable Approvals. I am attorney Amanda Shaffer. Got an exciting case to talk about today. I know it's been a little while since I was able to do one of these videos. So quick reminder before we get started. Don't forget to like us and follow us on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, wherever you are watching. If you find this video to be helpful, drop us a comment. Let us know what you like. Hit that share button, that save button, so you could share with others as well. So today's case, I'm excited to talk about for many reasons. One is because the person whose mother the case is about, I have known for a very long time, since college. It's funny sometimes how people can your lives can end up intersecting in different ways. So this client is a Manhattan resident, native of China. She's been a lawful permanent resident since 1991, so a very long time. She actually entered as a permanent resident. I believe she entered based on a family petition. So she initially filed her naturalization application without an attorney. No criminal history, no formal removal proceedings, inadmissibilities, anything like that. She had to go to, she actually was called to go to 2 separate biometrics appointments. Those are the appointments where you give your fingerprints. And everything was fine as far as she knew about, even though she had to go again, nobody told her anything. So she gets scheduled for the naturalization interview, again, goes without an attorney. She was, she passed the English test and the civics test, and they went through her entire interview with her, the entire application. Everything was great. And at the end of the interview, they said to her, well, we have a problem because we can't read your fingerprints. And this was the first time this was mentioned to her, because even when you go to check in at USCIS, they actually have you put both your index finger, both your right and your left. They have you do your prints. Even then, even today, when I went with her, they gave us a thumbs up, and then inside they said, "Oh, did they actually take them?" But that's beside the point. So she was told at the interview and given basically a request for evidence that said, because we can't read your fingerprints, we need you to go get a certificate of conduct from the police. That's where basically a criminal background check with the police. The reason that they couldn't read her fingerprints is because, and this is the first time I've experienced it to this extent with a client, but I've definitely seen this happen before. People have issues with fingerprints before, but basically she used to be a seamstress, and from years of of cleaning and using chemicals, her fingerprints just kind of wore off. It wasn't anything nefarious. There was nothing like that. Like, she didn't sand them off or anything ridiculous. It was just wear and tear. She's an older lady now, and I know that being a seamstress can be rough on the fingerprints. So they gave her this notice, and they gave her like 33 days, I think, to go get the certificate of conduct and submit it to them. So I think that day or the next day after her interview, she went today. Since COVID, you can't just walk in to the police department in New York to get your background check done. You have to make an appointment. So she immediately scheduled the appointment, but they didn't have one for like 45 days. So before she had to meet the deadline that they initially gave her to submit the certificate of conduct, she filed a request for an extension. She mailed that into USCIS. And as usual, USCIS doesn't always respond when you send things like that. So she went and she did her fingerprints. There's about a 10-day processing window for you to get your results from the police department. She went and picked it up, overnighted it to them, and they literally denied her naturalization application the day they received it, the fingerprints. And in the denial, they said that she failed to timely respond to the request for evidence, and therefore it was being denied based on bad moral character. So she came to us, and we discussed, should we refile the N-400 naturalization application, or should we file what's called an N-336, or request for a rehearing? This is essentially an appeal. I think of it as an appeal. And the concern that we had is if she wanted to refile the N-400, she may be barred for 5 years for bad moral character. Now, you might be thinking, watching this, like, how could she have bad moral character if she just missed a deadline? Well, this is one of the most arbitrary and capricious decisions I've ever seen. Quite frustrating. And I agree. It wasn't even her fault. She did everything she could to comply. So it didn't feel like it was the right thing to do. We could have tried to reapply and give this explanation. And we always have the talk that you never know how long it's going to take with either application. So you might be better off. Sometimes naturalization applications, they're processing super fast, like a month or two. I've had N-336s take a year or more. So, you kind of have to pick which path you think is the right way to go if you have both paths open. In her case, we were really concerned about the 5 years that she would refile, and then they'd say, no, you have to wait 5 years. So we filed the N-336, and this was at the end of October, and I wrote a long cover letter explaining with all the dates exactly what happened. This is when her interview was. This is when they told, these were the dates of her biometrics appointment. We had proof that she went. We said they never told her. Here's proof of when she got the police appointment or police department appointment to do her fingerprints there. So we did all of that. And the same day that we sent out her N-336, because you have to file that within 30 days or 33 days of getting the denial, we had her make another criminal background check appointment with the police because we had a feeling they were going to request it again, USCIS, and the one that she had previously submitted, it was possible it would have expired by the time she had the N-336 interview. So she still had to wait well over a month again to get the fingerprints. So we sent out the N-336, and then when she got the results from the certificate of conduct, which of course said she did not have any criminal history, we uploaded it to her USCIS account, and then I held on to the original for the interview. So today, the interview scheduled for today, I went with them. I brought the original certificate of conduct. We weren't exactly sure how long this interview was going to be. I said it should probably be quick because she already passed everything else. And when we got called in, the clients immediately got a little worried because it was the same officer they had the first time, and they said she wasn't very nice. But we sat down, and the officer says, well, what happened here? And her daughter was with her because her daughter was translating. Her daughter tried to start explaining. I was like, I got this. So I explained everything I just explained to the officer. So she looks at us and she goes, okay. I hand her the certificate of conduct, and she goes, all right. And she does some stuff on her computer, turns back around and says, well, there is a oath ceremony at 12 p.m., so you're going to have to wait a little bit. And they were like, that's approved? It means it's approved? And she's like, yep. And I'm like, oh, awesome. So I believe I'm filming this after 12 p.m. That means she's already a U.S. citizen, which is very exciting. And that, as you can see, I'm very happy. I'm very happy for my longtime friend and his family. And this was just one of those denials that, as an attorney, you see, and it is so frustrating because it shouldn't have happened. But I'm just glad I was able to help resolve it for them and quickly. And this is a great example of a case where there's always this question that clients come to me, especially when it comes to these interviews. Should I send? Sorry, I didn't turn on Do Not Disturb, so I'm getting distracted. Should I have an attorney go with me or not? And, the USCIS's policy is, and the law says that it's not supposed to make a difference whether or not you're there with an attorney. And I've obviously never been without an attorney because I was born in the country. So, from when people ask me, I tell them it's not supposed to make a difference, but I'm often told by clients it does. And in this situation, my clients said to me, you know, uh, the officer acted very differently when you were in the room, much nicer. And, as soon as you explained it, she was good. And obviously, in this case, there was something to explain that was a little complicated. So it was really helpful that I was able to do that. But, you know, take it for what it's worth, that if whether or not it is helpful for the attorney to be there. I've talked about cases before where clients have said the exact same thing. This is the first time I've literally had the same officer it happened to. So, it is what it is. It's not, you're supposed to be able to go there without an attorney and have the same results, but it can be frustrating sometimes. You never know what's going to happen. Regardless, I'm super happy that everything went well. And not only that, she didn't even have to come back and wait for that old ceremony letter in the mail. And she already has her naturalization certificate and can apply for her US passport. So uh, that is all today for notable approvals. If you're sitting out there and you are wondering, should you refile or file an appeal, aka a rehearing, a request for a rehearing, that's something you want to give us a call about. And make sure you do it within the 30 or 33 days. I think it's 33 days for mailing the decision. Otherwise, your choice is kind of made for you there. You would have to refile. So thank you all for watching. Don't forget, like us and follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever you are watching, so you don't miss any of our videos. If you like this video, found it helpful, share it with a friend, drop us a comment, let us know what you like, and hit that save button. And we will see you next time. Have a good day.